Always clean the teeth with non-fluoridated pumice, so no oils are left on the teeth, so the bonding is better. Make sure that most of the tooth, if not all of the tooth, is covered with the bonding resin. Placement instrument. We're going to use this to initially place along the long axis of the tooth, and then turn it over, and this one just happens to be 4O. And we're going to be parallel with the occlusal plane here. And that should be pretty good. Take a nice look at it. Good. Next. I'm going to be using the same instrument, using the 4O instrument, because each one of these brackets we do want on at 4O to the incisal edge. And now this one is lined up with the long axis of the tooth, and the slot is lined up with the incisal edge of the tooth. Both of those are on at 4O. Now we just give them, with this LED light, I usually give them at least 30 seconds. If I have my pack light, 5 seconds is fine. Okay, so we're going to have a sectional wire, and all we're really trying to do is align the two upper ones right now. You can zoom in if you want. So right now I have an 014 NiTi, which I'm going to lay over into the slot and just mark preliminarily with my marking pencil. And what I have here now is I have the wire with two little white marks, and I like to bend the wire first before I use the distal end cutter. So can you see that? Okay, just let me know. What you do is you put a light wire plier right where your mark is, and you can actually just bend it. And even though this is an 014 NiTi, it'll actually stay bent. And then I go to the Other side. And basically do the same thing. I'm going to bend, oops, a little bit too close. I'm going to bend in the 014 knife tie, and then I take my distal end cutter and cut the distal ends just distal. So that's going to grab there. Can you see that? And right about there. Okay, so now what I have is my sectional wire. Basically, I've got a little sectional wire which should fit fairly well. I might still have to trim the edges just a little bit. I might have to tweak it just a little bit to get it to go on, but generally speaking, it should be okay. In actuality, this one
no comment, huh?
is a little bit long, so I'm going to make it even a little bit shorter. And so what I did is I just cut a little bit more off one of the ends just to make it a little bit shorter so that it fit the teeth just a little bit better. What I like to do is take a gray elastic at first and put it on one side so that it stabilizes the wire just enough so I can tie it in with the other, and then I'll go back and remove the gray. A little bit later. Same 90-degree bend. I'll come at the bracket. Normally just one or two twists. Okay. You zooming in sometimes?
That's as close as I can get it before
okay.
It gets blurry.
And as always, stabilize the bracket against the tooth with your finger while you're twisting. Twist it down until it gets fairly tight. Now what I'll do is I'll remove this side here, which I just put on to stabilize anyway. And I will tie this side in. Okay, and then once again, I'm going to stabilize. Now I have both wires there. All I'm going to do now is cut and tuck. Ligature directed. And this one I'm going to tuck underneath the bracket just a little bit right here. And this wire right here is just a preliminary wire just to get these two teeth moving a little bit. And next time I might go with an 1825 heated knife tie and start bringing these two together just a little bit with some light chain. For the very first appointment, her two teeth are going to be a little bit sore anyway, so I'm just going to leave this 014 knife tie on here just to kind of get it going. And we'll leave this one here for about 3 weeks to a month, and then I'll come back and put the 1825 heat. And then you can also put elastics over the top of wires that are tied in. Usually there's enough room on the ties that you can put a color if they want. Sometimes there's not enough room if the wire size is big, but with this 014 the wire's not so big, and so we can get it on, and it gives them a little color to start.